Our scripture today is from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 22. A dispute also arose among them as to which one of them was to be regarded as the greatest. But he said to them, "The kings of the Gentiles lord it over them, and those in authority over them are called benefactors. But not so with you. Rather, the greatest among you must become like the youngest, and the leader like one who serves."
Good morning. It's great to see you. Sarah, thank you. You see her running, I mean, she's getting her steps in today. She's back and forth, back and forth. Choir, as always, stunning, beautiful, just wonderful. So you guys are so blessed in so many ways, and it's always a joy to be here. Reverend Christ, he usually gets me here in the summer, and it was just a busy summer. I don't know if you've had one of those. We kind of went all out as a family, and we were all around, and wasn't able to be here, but now, thank goodness, fall has arrived. Sweater weather. Everyone loving that? Yeah. Well, if I haven't met you before, my name is Stephen Popadich, and I'm a pastor at Seacoast Church in Mount Pleasant, and it is a joy always to come downtown. I rode my little Vespa downtown today. I just got it a little bit ago, and was always nervous to get over the Ravenel, and it was windy today. So luckily I made it. It was good. But it's just a joy to be here. I have a beautiful wife, Nicole, and she works up in the Chick-fil-A at North Mount Pleasant, up in the Oakland market. So if you're ever up that direction, obviously everyone loves Chick-fil-A, so that's great. Sorry, it's closed today, unfortunately. But then I have two wonderful kids, Anna Capri and Owen, 5 and 8 years old. If there's any parents in the house, which I know there are a few parents in the house, those are fun ages, especially to be at the beach in summer and all those kind of things. So it's really, really good. And I have 3 cats at home. Don't hold that against me. They're my wife's cats, but they are great. And then we have a great little dog, Owen. I'm sorry, not dog Owen. We have a dog named Ellington. He's a great little one. So it was interesting. I was just reading an article the other day talking about animals. And they've been doing a lot of tests trying to figure out if animals would actually get the virus or not, the COVID virus. And they were doing some tests on all these animals, and they were seeing if cats or dogs or anything like that would actually get them. And they found actually an insect that actually won't get the virus. And do you know what insect it was? Ants. Out of all things, ants. Do you know why? Because they have the antibodies. Set up, boo! Get him upstairs. Some of you will get that on the way home, but that's the only joke. That's the funniest I'll get all day, I swear. But I had to set it all up. So anyway, that's my whole family. I love being here. I love what you guys are doing here, and always impacting the city in so many different ways. So we are going to be talking a little bit today, if you've read a little bit of kind of promotion for today, talking about comparison. Has anyone ever found themselves in the circle or cycle of comparison before? You found yourself in that. It's pretty interesting now that we, of course, I came from a very small town, Mars, Pennsylvania, over Steeler country. Again, I was born into it. It's just part of who I am. And I don't have a choice in that matter, which is good. But sorry about Clemson yesterday. What? I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but we'll pray about that later. But we lived in a small town, and I remember just thinking, in this small town, there were already, you can compare yourself to your neighbors, right? You compare yourself to maybe the person next door, that person down the street, your kid in your classroom. But it was kind of, the span of comparison was about 400 to 500 people in my small town. It's a very, very small comparison. But even the social media experts and the ones who have even designed these platforms are recognizing that you don't just compare yourself to your neighbor anymore, you compare yourself to the world. And it's not just you here in little Charleston, South Carolina, but now it's someone in LA and someone in Paris and someone in Holland, and you're comparing yourself to so many people, and they've realized that in this cycle of comparison, that comparison hurts you. It hurts you. And we know that already. That's an easy statement to make. But comparison starts to take us out. And there's doing a lot of research, and there's a lot of different stats out there, and many of you probably even have researched them more than I, but they're noticing that the depression rates are out the roof, because people have found themselves in these cycles of comparison over and over, and it is a dangerous cycle. But comparison is not new to this world at all. Comparison has been going on for quite some time. We just read out of Luke, and what I want to do is I want to read that same passage, and I want to read it to you in just a different translation. And I want to read this, and you see the disciples comparing. It says this: the disciples bickered over which one of them would be considered the greatest in the kingdom. Comparing. Jesus interrupted them, the argument, saying, "The kings and men of the authority of this world rule oppressively over their subjects, claiming that they do it for the good of the people. They are obsessed," hear this, "obsessed with how others see them. But this is not your calling, church. You will be led by a different model. The greatest among you will live as one called to serve others with honor, or without honor. The greatest honor and authority is reserved for the one who has a servant's heart." That's Luke 22, 24 through 26. But why do we do this? Why do we compare? Why do we compare? If I was to answer personally why I compare, I would have to tell you, I compare because there's something about me that just isn't enough. That's somewhat insignificant to the plan that I think is out there. I'm a little bit lacking on being a good dad, being a great husband, being a good minister. There's something in me that I don't like. So I attempt to go and look for other people that have it. And in this desperate attempt, obsession, if you will, to look for something that someone else has, that comparison, it does kill. I want to talk about today, very briefly, 3 people that are killed by comparison. And you might find yourself in one of these individuals. First, the competitor. The competitor. Any bridge runners yesterday? Ah, yes. Nice work. Good. Good time? Solid time? Nice. You're right up there with the guy you were second in the... It's amazing how fast they run that. The competitor. These guys are usually pretty easy to spot. These are the individuals that perceive or look for every opportunity to win, every opportunity to get the upper hand. If you're in a business or a corporate environment, you may see these individuals always kind of next to the boss or the boss themselves, trying to always get ahead and actually looking very little to the left or right of them and trying to just basically plow ahead and always trying to win. They're out there. These are looking for absolute perfection in everything that they do, from the way they dress in a personal way, to the way they hold themselves in public, to their home, to their car. It goes to an obsession of perfection. And all of us find ourselves sometimes in this, right? The competitor also maybe in his own personal life. I mean, he is not just, if he sees that imperfection a little bit in himself, he demands it out of someone else. Husbands, we do this to our wives. Wives, you do that to your husbands, right? Why can't you be more like this? Why don't you do more of this? Because there's something lacking in us that hopefully you'll have. We do this on our kids, parents. I have this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And we find ourselves in that cycle over and over of Comparison through the competitor. And I'd say each of us has a little bit of that. And you see that deeply inside the disciples. No matter what, either way, the search, that constant drive to become perfection, that comparison ends up, at the end of the day, it actually kills us. And we die to this comparison of the competitor. Let me give you another one. Here's the second one. The commoner. The commoner. I think, no, the commoner doesn't have any comparison. I'd say the commoner is a little bit harder to spot. But think about it like this. Have you ever said to yourself, I don't want to stand out? Therefore, if you don't ever want to stand out, all those amazing little unique qualities of you, maybe like how you laughed, or your accent, or the way you used to do something around, your talent that you loved to dance, to sing, everybody else wasn't doing it, so you chose to fall in line. You looked to your left and your right, and you said, I don't want to be not like these people. I want to be just like them. Social media has found where this is something what we look to go, they've got that, I've got to have that, because if they've got it, everyone else must have it. They all look happy and smiling, and you say to yourself, my family doesn't look like that in that Christmas picture. That's like the early Instagrams, the Christmas picture, right? We don't all dress in white and do a photo on the beach. We don't all look that happy. My marriage doesn't look like that. And we look to it and go, wow, we got to be just like them. We have to be and have everything in common. And through that, the things that you've lost along the way. When I think all of us may have lost most of that. One time frame of our lives, and everyone, we'd probably say this is probably true, but it's in middle school. Middle school is when you lose pretty much all of those really beautiful, unique qualities. I don't have middle schoolers yet. I can already see it happening in my 5-year-old little girl. She's already looking to her left and right and seeing what other girls have. But in middle school, I think that's when I lost everything. Everything. I had to rediscover a lot of things, but that's when I lost a lot. That's when I got really, really quiet because I didn't want to be someone who was up in front of anybody. That's when I slowed down on the musical side of things. And my brothers did piano, and I thought it would be better because all my friends were doing sports, so that's what I wanted to go do, is do sports. If you picture me in middle school, I basically looked like a nerd got in a car accident with MC Hammer. That's what I looked like. I wore baggy jeans and clothes, and I had these little glasses and like beautifully parted hair that I obsessed over. Because I had curly hair, but nobody else had curly hair, so I had to like make sure it was all patted down with mousse, right? That mousse, green mousse stuff, LA Lights, gosh, or LA whatever it's called, Styles. Some of you that's a throwback for some of you. I think they banned that stuff in 9 countries, but other than that, I mean, like it was stuff that it plastered you. Anyway, I had to look just like everyone. I had to wear the Nikes. Nikes were barely getting big, but I had to have the Nikes with the little thing, and I had to have those. I had to compare and have everything like someone else. We lose that stuff in that time frame. But again, just like the competitor, when we look at that, it starts to kill some of us, who we are. And we die to that commoner. But here's the third one. This might catch you by surprise. But comparison also kills the Christian. Comparison kills the Christian. It starts like this. Yeah, you lovingly come to church. It's super great. And then you look down the pew and you notice that person looks like they brought their Bible today. Ooh, well, my faith, I better do that too. They did a little snippet about how they were tithing. Oh, I better do that too. And your personal journey with Jesus Christ, the personal one that he longs for, gets stolen because you got to follow someone else's journey. Does that make sense? I look to my left and my right and I go, boy, it's Sunday. I mean, my neighbors are going to church. I better get... And fair enough, right? You go, okay, Stephen, there's got to be some good things out of that. I mean, if they're tithing and you're tithing and you get to learn through that, I understand there are some things that are good. I mean, Paul even says, follow me as I follow Christ. Understandably, there is a following mentality and a discipleship that can happen. But when your journey is compared to someone else's journey and then you don't feel fit enough or perfect enough as that other person perceives to be, we die to that. It kills us. As Christians, you could look at the Pharisees as a good example. It was constant comparison. Oh, he's got this many years of service to the Lord, or they're wearing that robe today, or they're having this, or they're speaking at that congregation, or that's what they are doing here. They have this many followers. Oh, we better get that many. Yes, let's do it again. Let's do it again. And all of these rules, over 600 rules, 613 rules that they had to follow. Comparison. This Christianity became comparison. I'd say more than ever, this is the one that kills most of us. Because our own personal journey is so beautiful. So it kills the competitor, it kills the commoner, and it kills the Christian. And this was me. And it might have been you. But I looked everywhere else. I didn't ask Jesus what my path should look like. I looked at everyone else's and thought mine should be like that. And that goes for a lot of different ways. But in every single one, the thing they have in common is that whenever you die to that thing, whenever you die to the comparison of the competitor, the commoner, or the Christian, you just get death on the other side. None of those three comparisons give you life. Let me make a statement. Comparison is supposed to kill. It's supposed to kill. It's just what you die to. Will that thing give you life? Matthew 10:39 says it this way. Whoever finds their life will lose it. And whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. Galatians 2:19 says this. For through the law I died to the law, so that I might live for God. I am crucified with Christ. And it's no longer I who live, but it's Christ who lives in me. The life I now live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself up for me. Comparison to the right person is supposed to kill us. And that person, the person of Christ, the life of Christ, his example, it then gives us life. Because this me, this proud, arrogant, selfish person of me has to go away. It has to die. It can't live in the same context of what the Bible says. It's I who die. It's me. I need to let that go, be crucified with him. But through that death, it gives me life. I finally figure out all of those unique qualities before middle school that were supposed to be inherent in me and gifts in me. And what about you? Some of those things that are long gone that Christ is trying to bring back into your world. I mean, how cool if the choir would be like, filled with people that were just, I don't know, I used to sing, but now I don't. Oh, that was a lot of fun, man, I miss that. Man, I used to serve, but I just didn't see anyone else doing it. So, I'm sorry. Didn't see anyone else doing it. Oh, so this is something that's in me. It's a part of you because it's God created you. He created all your uniquenesses because truly He has an incredible plan for you. But there was that problem of sin that took us out, that selfishness that took me out. But that remedy is Jesus Christ. It is Him who was crucified. And as He was crucified, then 3 days later, He came back from the grave. But inside that amazing awe, inside of that miracle, Him beating death is still a response from us. Death does not come easily, because truly none of us really want to die. But through that actual response to Him of going, Jesus, you are the one you say you are. You are the light that you talk about. You are the one person, the one sole thing, the one inclement thing in this entire world that if I die to it, it will give me life. It will give me life. I'll end with this question. What are you comparing your life to? What are you comparing your life to? Is it giving you life in return?